That Paramount series on the Idaho 4 case, it had my eyes rolled so far into the back of my head that I didn't even realize we had new documents. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only, and just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. So yeah, we have three. We have three documents that I have not gone over yet on this channel. It looks like two of them have something to do with the IGG, and then the other one has something to do with the change of venue and the request for the scheduling order. Now I'm going to go through the IGG documents in this video just to kind of separate them out a little bit. Okay, so this is the first one that we're going to go over, and it's the motion requesting clarification of the sealed order for disclosure of IGG information and protection. Now, this is referring to the IGG information that Judge did an in-camera review on and decided that there was certain parts of the IGG that were able to be viewed by the defense. Now, again, the state has told us since the very beginning of this case, practically, that they were going to be filing a motion of limine to exclude all of this IGG stuff, and it still hasn't been filed, and we are continuing to fight a fight that they are claiming they are going to be making completely irrelevant by trial time. So I don't even understand why all this stuff keeps happening if the state is intending on filing that motion. It's like they want us all to get aggravated. They want all this crazy stuff to be going on. And for what? For what? Who knows anymore? Attention, more taxpayer dollars, more billable hours. That's really the only reason, right? And we also need to remember, like I just stated, it wasn't all of the IGG that the defense was allowed to look at. It was like certain pieces. So I've been questioning what is in all of this other stuff that the judge isn't allowing them to view. If they can view some of it, why can't they view all of it? And we don't know. We don't know what the differences are. We have no clue. And at this point, the defense, they're not going to know either. And do we really know if the state knows which parts were actually like given over to the defense and which parts were not allowed to be turned over to the defense? Because if Judge had all of it, I'm going to assume that he then took whatever he was going to allow the defense to have and handed it to him, handed it over himself. Who knows? Who knows? All right, so this states, comes now Bryan C. Kohberger buying through his attorneys. Okay. The clarifying language contained in the sealed order for disclosure of IGG that was filed with the court on December 29th of 2023. The court's sealed order states that no individual on the family tree may be contacted by the defense or any agent of the defense without prior authorization from the court after a showing as to why such contact is necessary and material to the preparation of the defense. Don't they have to go back 3 generations because this is a DP case? Isn't that what we just heard? And what we found out whenever I started looking into the Megan Stedman case, because they're doing the exact same thing with Chris Foyles. They're doing an entire family history situation because it's a DP case. So how the hell, how is the defense supposed to do their job and go back 3 generations and pay attention to what's going on when it comes to family history if they have to get all kinds of like prior auths in order to even talk to anybody in Kohberger's family? The defense, as part of the necessary work, has previously identified family members and work is being conducted. The defense does not expect to use the protected materials to identify people to contact without further order of the court. However, the defense needs to continue its investigation with witnesses and resources generated from sources outside of the protected materials without worry the plain language of the protective order could be interpreted to prevent that work. The defense seeks clarification of the specific language of the protective order. Right. Because how are they supposed to do their job that they have to do per the rules? Like, this is their rules that they created whenever they have someone facing the death penalty, that they have to do generational backtracking. So how are they supposed to talk to family members to see exactly what was going on? Like, what if somebody that's in Kohberger's family is actually maybe part of his alibi? And this person is also on the IGG information. Would they have to get special permission to talk to this person? or like whatever was going on during Thanksgiving break, or whatever was going on during Christmas break. Anyone that was around him that's related to him, they're going to have to get special permission to talk to, even though it's literally their job to talk to those people. I don't understand the stupidity here. Do you guys get it? Because, yeah. Now, this one is pertaining to the document that we went over the other day, where we found out that Gabriela Vargas is not one of the people that the defense is wanting to look at the IGG stuff. She wants Larkin, Mercer, and another one. I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. It might pop up in this document, but they were only asking for those like 3 specific people to be able to review the IGG, the expert review that they need. And I was kind of shocked that Vargas wasn't included because of all of the, testimony and all the crazy that happened. But this is the state's response to them, the defense, needing these certain people to look over things. Okay, yeah, here's all 3 of the names. Regarding the expansion of the protection order to include Dr. Leah Larkin, Becca Barlow, and Stephen Mercer, the state does not object. Regarding the expansion of the protection order to include unnamed criminal investigators, unfettered access to the IGG materials, the state objects. At a minimum, individuals who will have access to any of the IGG materials should be named. I mean, yeah, I agree. Further, defense has failed to make an adequate showing as to why such individuals need the information for the preparation of the defense. I mean, I kind of get it though, because if Larkin and Barlow and Mercer are going to be looking at it, then they honestly do need to be giving, the court an explanation. That's kind of how this works, right? Defendant states that the information is requested to investigate how and when Mr. Kohberger was identified as a suspect. This information can be obtained from the TOUHY letter. Is that what that TOUHY? TOUHY? From the FBI to the state, dated November 28th, 2023. The state objects to the balance of the IGG materials being provided to the criminal investigators for the reasons articulated by the court in its protective order. So they're claiming that when we heard on January 26th that at that point, they still don't know. And, Ann Taylor has mentioned this in the courtroom several times at this point, at least twice that I can remember off the top of my head, that she still doesn't know and that Bryan still doesn't know the exact date and what was the reasoning for him being the suspect. Like, they've claimed that. And this is saying that there's a letter from the FBI that gives that information, meaning straight up the FBI is the ones who pointed at Kohberger. Now, what we heard, and we've gone over this, this is not going to be new information. What we heard is that whenever Othram was told to stop, and they sent everything over to the FBI, the FBI did all of the IGG crap, didn't take any notes, didn't do anything to show any of their work. And then whenever they were done with whatever they were doing, sent the information of a very small family tree over to Moscow PD. And that is where Moscow had to then do the rest of the work, I guess, because that's how we've been told, that they were just sent over like the family tree related to the profile, not the actual person. That's how we've understood that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So that's all good if there's a letter that, the FBI came up with, but if it's literally just when the FBI did the whole like family tree thing and how it went to this very small family tree, that's still not human person specific. It's multiple humans, multiple people specific. It's not Bryan Kohberger specific. So maybe that's what Ann Taylor means, because by now she would have read this letter and it would have been, from what we're understanding, just about the family tree that was sent over to the cops. Regarding the defense's motion requesting clarification of the sealed order for disclosure of IGG information and protective order, pretty positive that's the one that we just went over. Yep, sure is. So we've got the defense's document and the state's response to that all in one. Good to go. Okay, it says the defense experts or investigators should not be allowed to use the protected materials to identify individuals or witness to contact without prior authorization from the court, and after showing why such contact is necessary for the preparation of the defense. This would not prohibit the defense from contacting potential witnesses learned through sources outside of the protected information. Okay, so does that mean then that if there are people included in this IGG stuff that are also witnesses that need to be spoken to, that there's no special stuff that needs to happen because they have learned of all of that stuff through sources other than the IGG? But if they only know about these people because of the IGG and there was nothing else at all that gave them that person's information before they got the IGG stuff, then they have to go through all these authorizations. But if they can show proof, or if they have proof that they knew about this person and that they've been needing to talk to them, because remember, there's like, 400 people that they have to talk to, and she's claiming they've only gone through a very small percentage of all those people. So if they have these people like already on a list and they're on the IGG, it's not a big deal. But if the only way that the defense knows of this person is through the IGG, then they have to go through that entire like pre-auth situation. The state respectfully submits that the appropriate course of action would be for the court to amend sealed order for disclosure of IGG, that whole thing, to allow Dr. Leah Larkin, Bicca Barlow, and Stephen Mercer access to the IGG materials disclosed to the defense. I mean, didn't they already look at some of this stuff though? Maybe they didn't really get to look at any evidence whenever they testified in court, but these are all the three that testified in the courtroom about the importance of the IGG and all the steps and all of the ways that they piece it together and have to scan it through 1,000 times and then basically puzzle piece together an entire DNA profile. That's how they all basically described it. Okay. They all did that with Vargas. And again, she's not on here. She's not on here whatsoever. But did they testify to stuff without ever seeing anything? Was that literally just them giving their testimony on IGG itself without them ever laying eyes on any evidence? I guess it's possible. The criminal investigators seeking access to the information should be named in the order, and those investigators should only be allowed access to the November 28th, 2023 letter provided to the defense. So Larkin and Barlow and Mercer can look at the IGG stuff, but only the letter from the FBI. And I'm reading this all for the first time while I'm doing this. That's how I do things because, reaction channel. So I don't know off the top of my head if we've read this letter, but I don't think that we have. Now that can change after I'm done with all of this and I do my research. I might find it in my documents, but I don't remember reading that. But they're only going to be allowed to look at the letter. They're not going to be allowed to look at anything else. Is this letter the only thing that was given to the state when it comes to the IGG? Is it literally just one letter? Because remember, the deadline for the feds to turn over anything from the IGG was December 1st. And this letter is dated November 28th. And that's the only thing that these experts are going to be able to look at. That's just weird. The state also requests the following language for an amended protective order. The court orders that only defense counsel Ann Taylor, Jay Logsden, and Alisa Massoth, defendant Bryan Kohberger, and Dr. Leah Larkin, Bicca Barlow, and Stephen Mercer may view the materials provided. And then insert the names of the criminal investigators, which again, I agree. We've got leaking issues with Delphi, with people that were even approved to look at stuff. Okay. So yeah, I agree. It shouldn't just be some huge, vague criminal investigator because, Ann Taylor could easily reach out to some YouTuber who thinks they're a criminal investigator and that fall into the category and then all hell breaks loose. Okay. So no, I agree. Everything should be verified. Names should be on there, the whole process. Okay. Insert the name of criminal investigator here, may view the November 28th, 2023 letter contained within the materials. Okay, so there is more, but they're only allowed to see the letter. This is stupid. Any further dissemination of the materials or the information contained within the materials must first be approved by the court after an adequate showing by the defense as to why such information is necessary and material to the preparation of the defense. Additionally, no individual learned solely through the review of the materials shall be contacted by the defense or any agent of the defense without prior authorization from the court after an adequate showing as to why such contact is necessary and material to the preparation of the defense. Right, exactly like I just said. If they knew about this person before all the IGG, no problem, do what you got to do. But if you didn't know about this person until the IGG, nah, you got to get approval to talk to that human being over there that's related to your client. Sorry. I don't understand. How are they supposed to do generational workups and talk to 400 witnesses and still expect this to even happen? Because I'm telling you now, they're going to nitpick and they're going to want to throw motions in and be in court and waste time as much as possible. So all this did, honestly, was give them more room to drag this out. And that's just my opinion on it. I mean, I say that, but it's honestly almost like they're trying to halt the defense from doing their job. And this whole letter thing is driving me insane. Are they literally only going to allow these experts to look at a letter, not the actual work, not anything that was presented when it comes to programs used, methods used, how many times did the entire profile have to be scanned in and pieced together? They're not giving them any of that to look at. So they're expecting the lawyer's office to know how that science works and to be able to look at all of these things and know exactly what it means and that it's accurate, while the actual experts only get to look at a letter. I don't even understand. Hold up. Okay, so before I do my little normal ending that you guys are used to, I have brand new information. This literally just released today. Now, these documents that I just went over, they released on Friday, I believe it was. This document that is related to the IGG just dropped today, and I'm glad that I decided to go and run errands before sitting down and editing the video. That way I can give you the most updated info. So, there's going to be a hearing. There's going to be a hearing when it comes to the IGG. And it states right here, based on defendant's motion to allow certain experts and investigators protected access to view IGG material, defendant's motion requesting clarification of the sealed order for disclosure of IGG information and protection order, and at the state's request for scheduling order, the court orders the following. I order myself to make this bigger. Thank you. Okay. A hearing on the above motions is set for February 28th of 2024 at 1 p.m. This hearing will be open to the public and will be live streamed on the court's YouTube channel. You guys already know we're going to have to screen record it because as soon as it's done, they put it on private and they don't ever release it again. As to scheduling, counsel shall be prepared to address scheduling, both a briefing schedule and oral argument on defendant's motion for change of venue, a discovery cutoff deadline, expert disclosure deadlines, deadlines for filing any pretrial motions such as motions to suppress or motions in limine, and dates for a trial. I just mentioned that entire limine snicket situation earlier in this video, before this document was even public. So I'm wondering if they're going to officially file it before the hearing on the 28th and make everything that's happened so far when it comes to this IGG stuff technically, officially irrelevant. Who knows? But that's it for the IGG updates. I'll go over the change in venue argument, maybe argument. I don't really know what that whole document's about just yet. If it is an argument, which it probably is an argument, I'm surprised because Bill Thompson sure, had a county in mind. So I guess we'll see what that one says in a later video, but that is it, you guys. If you like the way that I present this information, please do not forget to leave a like on your way out and subscribe to the channel if you were not subscribed already. See y'all.